Hi, it's Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally. Today I'm doing one of my favorite trash to treasure flips. You may remember this week I picked up this rather dirty, heavy plastic mirror on the side of the road, and it definitely needed to be cleaned. Once I cleaned it very well, I pulled out some greenish colored paint that I had in my mind, but once I put the paint on, it had too much of a yellow hue, so I went and found the actual paint that I was looking for, which I forgot I had in the garage, is more of a sagey green, and let that dry, and then took a razor, got rid of all the excess around the mirror, and pulled out my Antiquing Wax by Behr. And I just went and took a brush and went over that with the brush into all of the crevices so that I could get the low points with the wax in it, and then wipe, and then add a little more and wipe until you get the look that you're looking for. I wanted it a bit of a deep antique look, so I added more brown than I normally would. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. I have something in mind for it to go with, which is why I came up with that color green. But that's just hung up on a wall in my house, just to give you an idea on how that came out. So hopefully you like this, and then we will move on to project number 2, which I just think came out beautiful. In a recent dump haul this week, I showed you this basket that I picked up on the Good Table, reminiscent of Christmas, rather typical basket. Pulled out my Rust-Oleum chalked paint and then a little bit of Truffle by Waverly. I didn't want this to be pure white, so I added that together till I got more of a creamy white color, and took that outside, gave it a coat of paint, and then painted the interior once that was dry. Then I found my sanding block and decided to give that a little bit of a distressing on the edges, especially on the handle and the rim, just to make that look a little bit more worn. And then I went through my stash. The other day I had stamped on some drop cloth, and I had blue in mind for this, so I was glad that I found this little bit of cloth, put a little bit of gingham under it, and then just glued it right to the side of the basket. This is the before, and this is the after. I absolutely love it on my hutch with all these items that I have in my kitchen. You will have to let me know what you think of this transformation. And now on to project number 3. My husband had actually brought these home a couple weeks back from a dump haul, and quite frankly, I think they are hideous. And so the first thing I had to do was pull off the candle holder thing. Maybe I'll save those for little feet if I ever do a riser again. And then I took that outside and covered that green with the Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white. That did take 2 coats to cover both of them. And I had this decoupage paper, which is more of a thick tissue that I love. It is so beautiful. I had it in mind for the hutch I've been working on, the Ethan Allen hutch, but it just wasn't going to work out. So I decided that I would cut a piece off and use the Mod Podge to decoupage some right to the face of these 2. And I had in mind my own bathroom for this project because I really needed a little place to hang some little guest hand towels. So I have these hooks in my stash, and I just attached one to each of the bottoms. And then it needed a little gray to match my bathroom, so I went over it with a little dry brush to make it almost look somewhat like a beadboard kind of a feel, or just maybe just a little bit antique-y, but in the gray. And so I liked that better with that color. Now here is my shower curtain and a quick snap of that bathroom to give you an idea of the colors that I had in there. And so that space to the right of the mirror is where I had in mind. So here they are on my countertop, and here they are hung up in the bathroom once I got them complete. This bathroom is looking quite cottage core, very unusual for me, but I thought I'd give it a try this year to do something a little less farmhouse and a little more cottage core. I probably won't keep it for terribly long, but for now, that's the way that came out. So you'll have to let me know what you think. And on to project number 4. Another one of these dump haul items was this flat hanging basket that had poinsettia in it. I took that out right away. And it still had a nice bit of foam in there, so I kept that and went through my haul that I got recently with all those florals. I had washed all the fall stuff and had it laid out in a piece of ribbon, so I just right away said, you know what, I think I know what I'm going to do with this. I started snipping off some leaf kind of florals and placed them here and there in the background to be my inspiration, I guess you'd say. And then I took some of the gourds and pumpkins that I had on picks and put them in here and there, and then began to fill it in wherever it seemed to be missing something. And I think it was starting to look really adorable. But I wanted it to have just a little bit something more. So I went through my stash, and the other day I had gone to the Dollar Tree and got these words and pulled out my ribbon that I thought matched perfectly. And then I went ahead and made a bow to put on one side of the basket, and then decided I would like to have the give thanks wired on. And so I wired that right to the front. And here it is. I love it. I think it came out adorable. And my neighbor just had eye surgery, so I am going to bring that over to her with a little card and a gift of chocolates that I had already picked up for her. So altogether, I think it'll be a cute gift. So let me know which is your favorite, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.